was going to tell me to go. We're live now, so welcome along everyone to the Stevenage FC interviews. This is Mike Kahneman here with Charlie Lee. Charlie, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, really well, thank you.
It's good to hear. Yeah, good, mate. Doing well. Hopefully we'll have a few people join in soon. Take a little while for them to obviously get the hang of, that we've actually gone live and whatnot. But yeah, I've got a lot of questions there prepared and stuff. And what should we do? Crack on?
Yeah, whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay, so the first one. Throughout your career, you have played in a number of different positions. So that's like right back, right mids, centre mids, centre back. Where's your preferred position out of the lot?
I know it's always the easy way to say, but I'm really not bothered, honestly, as long as I'm starting. So it's always worked out quite well for me that if I've needed a position or the team's needed a position filling, I'll fill it. So it's helped me throughout my career. So I never say no to anything because I just like being in the team.
Yeah, no, that's true as well. Like I remember whilst you were at Stevenage, I think you played quite a few games actually at right back, didn't you? As well as centre back in particular as well. And as well as in the middle there, and you were partnering. Who were you partnering? I know Chris was in there. Chris Welpdale was in there on the right hand side. Who else was in there?
Yeah, well, for the 3 years, I had a few different partners. I had it was centre forward in the first season with Beardo.
That's right. Yeah.
Time or Darius if he played up front.
Yeah.
And then I'd be centre back with Boro.
Yeah.
And then later on, it was Schumacher and Pet in
That's
the midfield
right, with Tom,
three a lot of the time.
Yeah. How did you find that? Like playing in the three?
Yeah, as I say, obviously, whatever the job needed to do, I didn't mind doing it. So it worked for us when we went to the three, and I think we was very unlucky that season to miss out on the playoffs. I think that could have been a good year for us.
Yeah, I remember that playoff games, and it was the Southend games, wasn't it? When that was the year with the whole Timlin and Biro incident with the massive head injury, wasn't it as well?
Yeah, that was my first season, and we was very unlucky with injuries throughout the playoff period, and it's a shame. If we'd have had a few more fit bodies, we would probably could have gone up.
Yeah, I saw that as well, and I always thought that it was a bit unfortunate that year not to make the extra push and get to the final and go the extra way, the extra mile, and go through to the next league.
Yeah.
So, what was it like playing under Teddy? What was that like?
Well, obviously, we did. It was out of the 3 seasons ahead, it was the least successful, but it was a very tough job for him, and we come in pre-season. We tried to change quite a lot of things from the season before, and it was a really tough job for him. And I think looking back, it was going to be a tough job for anyone coming in, obviously after Graham Wesley. So I think he'll be a successful coach in the future, and I think he shouldn't be judged on that season because I think a lot of people would have found it hard, and as the players did.
Yeah, 100%. And that first season was quite a difficult season under Wesley, and obviously, the team did well to get to the playoffs. What was Graham like as a manager? Obviously, we all, even the fans know about his methods and all of that. What was it like to work under him?
Yeah, it was very different, and it was very unique. And but with the right players, it was successful, and we had a great group of lads who worked incredibly hard, and we just fell short. And I really enjoyed that season, to be honest. And I know some people have obviously found it hard working under him before, but I enjoyed that season, and the group of lads was second to none. So I've got only good memories from that first season.
What were your thoughts overall this season when you saw that Wesley had returned to Stevenage for a little spell?
Well, I just don't know, because obviously I'd been away for quite a while. I didn't have many friends that were still playing there at the time. I had a couple, but just hoped that it was a decision made, and you hoped it would work out well.
Matt's in the chat there, Matt Wardell. He's saying, come back, Charlie. Would you ever come back and, maybe coach in the future or anything like that?
I love my time at Stephen. It was a brilliant time, and obviously it's a great club, but that's that's close to home, and
Yeah.
I'd love to work there, obviously, one day. But at the minute, I'm just still down at the Oval, so cracking on, and hopefully, good times ahead for Stevenage.
Yeah, and obviously, you just mentioned there that you're with Yeovil. What's it like working under Darren again, under Darren Sarwin? Obviously, Luke's there as well, Wilco.
Yeah, I really enjoyed working under him at Stevenage, and it was one of the main reasons I come down to Yeovil, and
Yeah.
just I hope that we've got a good chance of hopefully getting in the playoffs, and hopefully they go ahead, and
Hmm.
hopefully end this season with a real bang.
Hi, Rye. Hi, Giggsy and Becky and everyone else as well. Mary, all on the chat there. If you got any questions you want to ask Charlie, just drop them on the chat there, and I'll drag them across and fire them away. So the next one I've got here, Russ is in the chat there, and he actually wanted to know if you weren't a professional footballer, what do you think your career would be?
Quite, so it's just a tough one because obviously from day dot that you wanted to do it, but
Yeah.
I've always I would love to have been a teacher, to be honest. I think that's something that I still would look maybe into after my career, and I just think that it's something that I might enjoy, but we'll wait and see, and hopefully I can stay in football. If not, I've always liked the thought of teaching, and maybe that's something I would have gone into.
Yeah. Rye just put, what was it like playing at Peterborough? What was it like when you were there at your time at Peterborough as well?
Yeah, obviously, I've been very lucky in my career, and everywhere I've been, I've had such a good time. I've
Mm.
played for some amazing clubs, and that was the first club, obviously, after leaving Tottenham, and with 3 promotions in 4 seasons, it was just an amazing time, and I'll look back fondly on my days at Peterborough.
Yeah, they were a really good side in those sort of days as well. Obviously, you mentioned that you were at Spurs. You went to Millwall for a bit as well, and then Peterborough was the main one, wasn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, really good
Brilliant.
time.
So when you were at Spurs, what was it like when you were at Spurs? Obviously, going through the youth team, did you know any of the boys from like Daisy or Ronnie or anyone from at Spurs? Dean Parrott.
Yeah, obviously, I come across Ronnie quite a lot. He was a few years older than me, and I got the very lucky enough to train with him a few times when we got put up a few age groups that obviously when we was going into full time. So I knew
Yeah.
Ronnie well. And Daisy, I just missed him to us. As you know, Daisy's a bit older than me. She's a bit older than everyone, I think, in football. Bless him. I love Daisy. But
Daisy's an awesome guy. Didn't you actually? I think you played. Did you play one season with Daisy?
I played. He was there the whole time I was there. I think.
Or a couple of seasons at least. I remember the
Yeah, a
playoffs.
couple of seasons. He
It was
went
in
to
the
coach,
playoffs.
but he was also player. So yeah,
Yeah.
he was very successful the time I was there. To be honest, he had a renaissance of a great goalkeeping season. My first, I think he got Player of the Year, so he was
He
very
did,
good.
yeah, he did. I remember that very well, and I remember, it's always have the players and fans mixing over at the Crooked Billet as well afterwards and stuff. So yeah, he was happy to have everyone together.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, he's a top man, Daisy, and I haven't spoken to him for a while, but we do still keep in touch.
Yeah. Tom, the SUFC, the Blues, so Southend. Were you ever offered the chance to play for Southend? That's a question that he's just asked there.
Yeah, well, it looked. I had a season left at my time at Gillingham, and
Hmm.
we'd been promoted, and it'd been a great time, and it looked like I was leaving with a year left, and Southend was the team come in, and it literally fell through just before the start of the
The last
season,
minute. Yeah.
and I ended up staying at Gills and playing there for that, and I played my contract out there, and again that was another great time. But I really thought I was going to Southend. I spoke to a lot to the manager, and it didn't quite happen. It fell through right at the end of the pre-season.
Russ has put there, what are your thoughts on the games being played behind closed doors right now without the fans?
I think obviously playing football behind closed doors is not ideal,
Mm.
and it's never going to be the same. But I think it would have been a shame to finish all football, and if it's the only way to do it, I think it's necessary.
Yeah, 100%. And
Mm.
the sort of sooner we get through this stage, the sooner we can get the fans back through the door again.
Yeah, I think our aim straight away is to get fans back in as soon as it's
Yeah,
as soon as
safe
it's
as we can.
viable, and
Yeah,
obviously taking into consideration obviously everything that's going on. But as soon as we know it's fine to do it, it'll be great to have fans back in.
Mark is a Barnet fan. Well, he's an Arsenal fan and a Barnet fan. He's saying, tell him, he wants Yeovil to lose to Barnet. I don't. I want Barnet. Well, looks like we're down in the conference, so I'd love a derby against Barnet again. That'd be back, back to the good old days.
Well, yeah, I think I'll be backing us, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wish you all the luck, but maybe next season, hopefully. But it'll be a tough game if it goes ahead, and looking forward to it.
Yeah. So Chris, have you had to move closer to move closer to Yeovil? Like, have you had to travel a bit to move there, or well, actually, you've told me anyway, haven't you? You said you travelled down the day before, so
yeah. So we're very lucky that they have houses for the players to stay in. So we spend a lot of the week down here while we're training, and I go back. My family stayed in Hertfordshire,
okay,
and so I see them obviously 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
But it's only my career is obviously, maybe the people would say it's at the twilight. I don't think so yet, but obviously getting older, and I was really looking forward to it. So it was worth maybe moving down here and maybe being away from the family a little bit, just to have a real crack at getting them back into the league. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a beautiful place, Somerset.
Yeah, I remember going there a couple of times with Stevenage. Stevenage, I think, beat them 6-0 at one time we went, and it was, it was nice for the area, but it was also nice for the win as well. But
yeah, of course, yeah.
Ray's now saying come back as well. I think everyone wants you back at Boro at the moment. He's got a job to do with Yeovil at the minute, so I don't think Darren, if he's going to watch this, he's he wants one of his star players to be with him for the playoffs.
Yeah, hopefully.
So no, let's get back to the questions that I've got here. We've kind of gone a bit off sidetrack with all the questions on there now, but yeah. So I've asked that one already. What was your favourite Stevenage moment? Have you got one or a number?
Oh yeah, Ken. The second goal Ken has scored, Luton away.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah. I loved it. Lovely game. That they were a great team, and we went there, and Daisy made a few saves, but we played some amazing football that season. And I love going to Kenilworth and getting 3 points was a brilliant time. And I enjoyed the battles we had against Luton, but that one really stands out for me.
Was that the year when Kennedy scored right in front of their fans and then legged it down all the way to the away end and basically jumped in with all of us lot?
Yeah, so basically I think he faked injury for about 5 minutes and he was getting booed, and then he literally stood up, got the ball, took 2 on and banged it in the top corner, and then sprinted the length of the pitch. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Typical Kenners. He has managed to wind up everyone in the whole stadium.
I know. It's a shame that he's left, actually. He's just been released a couple of days ago alongside, the likes of Dean Parrott and Joel, and there's a few that have gone now. Yeah,
I saw Dean Parrott had left, and but obviously contracts run out and players change, and just hopefully it'll be a good rebuilding time for Stevenage, and fingers crossed.
Yeah, so they've got very limited squad at the moment. I think there's only about 12 players on the book. They've started off with about 30, 40 at the start of this season, and yeah, it was all changed. Dino and Denmark, and then Graham, and now Alex. So
yeah, I'm really hopeful that Revs does well. To be honest, I've played against him a lot and come across him a lot, and if he's in charge next year, I don't know exactly, but I hope the best for him. It's obviously a tough job going into it your first time, but I think he's got in him to do well.
Yeah, and I think the club have backed him as well. They've gone with Lenny Lawrence, and obviously Lenny's experience is going to help him, no end next season.
Yeah, definitely.
Lenny's obviously a great name, and everyone knows Lenny around the game. So yeah,
it'd be really good to see. So fingers crossed.
Hi Rob, Ryan, what was it like playing alongside Shuey?
Shuey that season, obviously he had such a bad injury the season before, and he come back in pre-season, and I remember I've said it to him today, so he won't mind me saying it. I remember he come back in pre-season, and it took him a few weeks, and it almost like when you get to that 31, 32 that he was at the time, and you thought after that injury, and he didn't look sharp in pre-season, and almost like I thought I was worried for him. And then I remember, I think it was halfway through September, I just was like, he just started playing some unbelievable football. He looked fit. looked strong, and then playing with him and Petty in midfield, we had a great little spell, and that's one of my favourite little spells of an 11. We managed to keep a good unit of players. And you know what? Barring Matty Godden injury and Kenny's injury at the end of the season, where we probably struggled to score goals, I think if we'd have got to the playoffs that year with the team, the 11 we had, stayed fit, we'd have had a real good go that year as well.
That's right, and obviously Matt's just got promoted now with Coventry as well, hasn't he? So he's done, he's doing well for himself.
Well, he's going to be playing in the league that he should be in. To be honest,
yeah, absolutely.
He's one of the best players I've played with, and I've played with him in League Two, but he's a gifted striker who will do well in the Championship.
Oh, 100%. I rate Matt really highly. He's one of the the strikers up there in Stevenage folklore, alongside the likes of Barry Hales and Stevie Morrison. So
yeah, and that's a good company for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you like any other sports apart from football, Charlie? That's from Ray on the chat there.
Yeah, I'm full-blown cricket obsessed, to be honest. It's my cricket is the one. Yeah. I could watch it. I could sit and watch a 6 Test match back to back anywhere in the world, and it'll be the first thing I do. My bucket list when I retire. It'll be go and visit a few of the overseas tours and help Army.
Why not? You might as well be a thick of it. You go to the other end of the stand.
Yeah.
So let's have a look here. So there's a couple of questions in here. I don't really understand them. Off the guys from Boro chat, some of the the forum users. Was it Bulldog Boro? Let's have a look here now. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, that was he asked what was your favourite Stevenage moment. Yeah, it was Bulldog Boro. I said about the coach and the management. He also asked, do you think the Rifles are overrated? I don't understand that one.
No, well, you're gonna have to go and check. You're gonna have to check because they're the greatest band in the world. Well, it's a bit harsh saying the great, but they are an amazing band. That I know exactly who's asking that, and we have a common love for the band, the Rifles, and they make some great music. And I've probably seen them way too many times.
I'll check it out after, and I'll give it.
Yeah, they're a brilliant band, the Rifles.
Never heard of them. But maybe it's before my time. Who knows?
No, they're current. They're current band.
Oh right. Yeah. So Ryder is obviously the 3-3 with Exeter that was on Sky. Ryder was actually at that game. He's local to Plymouth, and he come in the away end and was with all the Stevenage fans and stuff. That game was a crazy game, wasn't it, to be involved in?
I had a few crazy games at Stevenage, to be honest, and I enjoyed them all, especially in the first season under Graham. That it seems like teams didn't really want to play us, and we had that effect, and we managed to make some crazy games happen that year. And as I say, the 3 years I loved every minute, and I was sad to leave when my time came.
That was Chris Welpdale that scored the equaliser in that one, wasn't it, as well? Is with Cheltenham, not Cheltenham, sorry, Chelmsford, I should say now.
Yeah, Chrissy, good player. I played 9 years with Welps, and he had some. He was key to a lot that we did at Stevenage, and the 2 years I played with him there.
Yeah, one of my mates actually is Jordan. I don't know if he's watching or not, but he's actually a part of the Chelmsford Academy. He's like not a player, but he's basically looking to go into management. And I think some of the guys there are helping him out. And I think Chris was one of the main ones actually, in fact, as well. That's offering him.
Welps is
him advice and mentoring him and that.
Yeah, he's a great
under 18s manager. Yeah. So he's there was quite a few. Justin Edinburgh, what was it like playing under Justin? Obviously, he's sadly no longer with us anymore, but you're with him at Orient.
Yeah, it was amazing. Obviously, we had such an amazing season, and we found it hard the first year. We come in, we had, I think it was 20 new players, and we struggled the first season. I had a bad injury, and I missed the whole season. And then he came in and changed the whole place around, start to finish, and it was incredible, and it was one of the best things that ever happened to me was it. And then obviously the down of losing him, I'll never really find words to explain what we in the family and everyone went through when it happened, and it was
Yeah,
a
that's right.
real tough
Actually,
time. I just hope it's something that I never come across again.
no, for sure. And obviously, you played with him at played under him at Gillingham as well. So yeah, he was your manager twice. Yeah,
I didn't actually have him at Gills.
no,
But I did have him at Tottenham as an under 14 and 15 manager, and
oh,
I
okay,
knew him away, so I came
yeah,
across him early on in my career. He was a great man, and the family are doing some amazing stuff with the foundation now. So if anyone wants to check out JE Foundation, it's doing some really good stuff.
yeah. I've looked at it myself, and I think George actually raised a bit of money for it because he, Justin when he was alive, God bless him, and that was good mentor for George as well, and offering him some quite good advice and yeah, just helping him out and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, he was just such a charismatic man that you couldn't help but have a good time when you was around him.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's coming from an Arsenal fan, and obviously he was quite big into Spurs. So, what is your best goal celebration and why? That's from Ray. I don't remember if it was your first goal that you scored for the club, and it was the winner at Wimbledon, AFC Wimbledon, in the 3-2. Was it?
Oh yeah, I played. I rolled my ankle on a Tuesday, and I had done my
Yeah.
ankle ligaments, and I should never have played.
Mm.
I literally played in the most pain I've ever played in, and I just hobbled off after scoring. But
Yeah.
once I scored, I think Gaffer took me off after that. I don't know how I played that game, but a few painkillers, and I got through it.
That's your first goal for the club, and it seemed to be quite a big one as well at the time. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't really remember how early that was in the season, but it was
About
I haven't
8 or
really got
9
a
games in, I
celebration.
think. Yeah, yeah.
I tried when I was younger to celebrate, but now as older, I'm just too worried about not conceding when it restarts. So I just run off
Yeah, you have to
shouting.
run back to your
I
centre
run
back.
off shouting and then tell everyone let's get back in position so we don't
Yeah.
let another go. We don't let it go in.
Especially because obviously that's the cliche, isn't it? Once you've just scored, you're most vulnerable. So yeah,
Oh, you see it too many times now. That's all I
yeah.
worry about.
What's this one here? Yeah. So who do you actually support? Do you sort of follow anyone in the Premier League or anything like that?
Well, obviously, I was born in Whitechapel, and my family are from the Boro, so my family are all West Ham fans, and so I followed them as a young kid. But then, obviously, I joined Tottenham when I was 8, and I had a season ticket there until I was 20. Obviously, when I left,
Yeah.
I didn't leave Tottenham until I was 20. So
Mm-hmm.
I always found it hard to fully commit to a team where you can't really be a West Ham fan who really likes Tottenham, who his favourite players in the world were playing for Man United at the time. So
Yeah.
I was never
Yeah.
really fully committed to it. But unfortunately, I've got a son who supports West Ham, one who supports Tottenham, and my family love going to Orient and Stevenage because they're the two closest
Local new
teams
one.
that we
Yeah.
get to see a lot. So we'll
Yeah. Yeah.
spend a lot of time watching games at Orient and Stevenage because I played there. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
try and push them into them, but I'll follow it all. I'm a fantasy Premier League. I like doing my fantasy team, so
Same.
I
Yeah.
support whoever's my captain.
Actually, that's a point. Aguero. I need some. Right. Let me know how Aguero's getting on if he's playing, please.
Yeah, I've got him as treble captain, so I
Yeah.
went for it.
Okay. Well, he didn't play the last game against Arsenal, did
No,
he?
he come on and missed 2 chances from close range. I
Yeah.
was devastated about.
Yeah. So he hit the post, but that was good. That was like as most as he got.
Mm.
He's playing and Foden just scored. Oh, okay. Well, as long as he's playing, that's a start. Yeah. So, who was the best player you played against and also with as well? In not just in Stevenage, but in any of the clubs.
Yeah, obviously, I think. But the best player I played with at Stevenage is Matty.
Yeah.
He signed the first 6 months. He looked. You could tell he was good, and we was just glad he didn't score that many goals in the first 6 months because no one would have
That's
bought him
true.
off us in January because
Yeah.
we could see how good he was, and he might not have got the goals. And then the
Mm.
second half of the season, he could have took us to promotion if we would. But then obviously picking up injury, I think it was Colchester away when we just had a nightmare, and that was literally the game. I think Ken has picked up an injury, but at my time at Stevenage, he was class, and I've been lucky. I've played against it with some good players, and there's a few from my Peterborough days all playing in the Prem, so they're doing all right now. So that
Yeah.
team,
What's the sort of main one from Peterborough then? Who was the main sort of guy that you know?
Well, you've still got some really good players playing at decent levels, and yeah, I think George Boyd, Aaron McLean, Brian Bennett, who's at Leicester now on loan. They were just top players. Who I think we had 5 or 6 players from our League Two team ended up playing in the Premier League. So
that's right. I remember George obviously went from Stevenage to Peterborough, didn't he, as well? And
Boyd, he was
he's still, even when he come down for Ron's testimonial, he had an injury but didn't play, but he was still there and supporting.
Yeah, he loves Stevenage. Boyd, he gave him his big chance. He got his move to Peterborough from obviously his great time at Stevenage.
He's gone on to do quite a lot since then as well.
Yeah,
and obviously now he's back at Peterborough again, and we were trying to get him back at Stevenage as well. So you never know what might happen in future years.
Keep trying. If you can get him, even if he's 40, he's still worth getting him back.
Wouldn't mind him and Stevie Morrison these days. That would get us out of the conference now. But and Mac was with us last season as well. Yeah, well this season I should say.
Mikel Smith was. Yeah. He was frightening when the time I was there. He was unplayable. Him and McLean up front.
That's right. Yeah, they were quality players, and George, and yeah. Hi Laura. Hi. Yeah. Great own goal in this game. Really, I'll have to watch it on the highlights or whatever later. So is there any moment in your career that you'd relive or redo?
Yeah, well, when you look back at your career, and there's loads of good things happen, but the promotions is the one you can never forget them days. They'll never take them away from you, and it's my only regret that my time at Stevenage didn't end in a promotion. I would love to have taken, because obviously when I joined, you just come down from League One. I'd love to have left Stevenage when they was back in League One, and that really bothered me when I left, that I hadn't had that success that I thought we was good enough to do. But yeah, I'll always remember the promotions and just hope that I haven't had my last one. I hope I can get a couple more before I finish.
That's right. Apparently, Matt was on about your own goal in the game at Colchester.
Yeah, I knew exactly what I was talking about, but I didn't want to bring it up. It's my first and only own goal in my career, and I managed to lob Daisy from about 5 yards.
Well, these things happen. You get a bit unfortunate at a time, so yeah.
But everything that happened that game was terrible. If I could go back and delete that game, I would.
Northampton are up as well. That's good to know. So what are your thoughts on the club's current situation? Obviously, you said your family around here in Hertfordshire at the moment, and it's a strange end to the season with the virus and stuff, and we weren't sure about relegation, and now it's all but been confirmed, but not quite been confirmed yet. And what's your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, I was obviously I was gutted. Obviously, I've still got friends and a lot of people that are and supporters that I know. I've had friends from a young age who are Stevenage fans. So I was really gutted to think that they go down, and obviously still hoping there's a chance. But if they do, I just hope that they can use this time to rebuild and maybe go at it again and hopefully be back in the league.
Yeah, hopefully that'd be nice. Matt's just put there. How big do you think the international market for Stevenage needs to be? That's from Matt Larrick on the Twitter Periscope.
Yeah. So, well, it's a great club. It's a great club, and let's hope we can get a few players in for the next season and get ready for a promotion push if they are in the National League next year.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing is rebuilding and restarting. Looks like a lot of the players that are there are youth as well. A lot of young ones still there. Arthur's still there, and some of the other guys, Liam Smythe and Jack Smith, and some of them are probably going to possibly feature in the first team next year.
Yeah, I know Jack, so hopefully he'll have a good career in the future.
What's this from Lanaway? If we would go down, who would be a realistic target for the club? Oh, sorry, what would be a realistic target for the club? It's got to be rebuilding and just kind of hoping, from there,
Well, I learned from my time at Orient. I joined Orient when they first went into the National League, and we signed some great players, and we had a real strong squad the first season, and we still struggled to make any any like decent run of games at any point, and we end up finishing bottom of mid-table maybe. And with the same group of players the next season, we won the league. So unfortunately, the realistic of going back up is very tough ask, especially with loads of new players coming in. And I just think you've got to be realistic. And it was the same for us this year with Yeovil. We've got such a great group of lads and some real top players. And to go straight back was a big ask. And so we're very proud that we've made the playoffs. And if it did end in a promotion, I think it would be well above what was expected. So the first season's always tough, as Stevenage know from their time in the National League before. It's not easy just to get promoted with the amount that go up, and they should be looking to get back in the league as soon as possible.
Especially because like with the foundation and all of that, and there's quite a lot of things that the club have got going on that kind of need the income and the money.
Yeah, and definitely, and financially, that now in the National League, there's some big clubs in there who can compete financially with the League Two clubs, and there'll be some really big teams in there next year, regardless who goes up through the playoffs this year.
Yeah. There's a question here from Giggsy. What kind of music motivates you? Your go-to workout music, or another thing that I've kind of written as well was who had the playlist? Who was in charge of the tunes at Boro?
Well, the first season it was everyone. Graham Westley made us pick a song that we all picked, and it was everyone's playlist, which I liked, to be honest. Obviously, because my music the music that my taste doesn't really get played very often anymore. Where my music taste is very football music. If you go back to the 90s, what I like is proper football music. Nowadays, it's not quite what it used to be. So my taste probably wouldn't be like most of the players that are currently playing.
No, but then the second part of that is what kind of music motivates you, like to actually get yourself up and pump for a game?
Yeah, so the music that motivates me probably wouldn't motivate many people, and I completely understand why. So it's not very fast, it's quite chilled. I don't really need help to get up for a game. My problem is I probably need to calm myself down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've been known to make a few questionable tackles early on in games where I get too hyped up. So I need to maybe relax in the change room before. So I have a lot more chilled out music. So never really had a problem getting up for a game.
No, that's good. That's always good to be able to do that quite easily. So there's so many questions on here. It's crazy. We might be here for a while.
So I haven't done anything else.
But no, like obviously I've mentioned it already. With Darren, how does it feel to be with Darren again and Luke and all of that?
Yeah, as I say, it was the main reason I come to Yeovil. Obviously, such a big club in the National League, and it fit for leaving Orient after what the success I'd had there, and it was the same. It had the same feel. It was a team that had gone down, and I could help go out. And him being the manager was a massive selling point. And obviously the players we've got. If you look at our squad, we're hopeful that obviously we can still got a chance of going up this season, but definitely next season with the squad we've got, the promotion is definitely our aim.
Do you when you sort of playing? Have you played very often at sort of centre back alongside Luke this year or not?
No, I've not played. To be honest, it's the first season where I haven't played many positions. We've played a 3 or a 4 in midfield, and I've been playing in the middle of a 3 or 4. I've had a couple of ventures up front late on in games, be a bit of a target man. But to be honest, we've got a well balanced squad, and I've been used pretty similar all season as maybe like a holding midfielder or just an outside midfielder, and I've enjoyed it. It's a bit different to what I'm used to.
Lanaway, it's John there. What was your favourite song at Stevenage?
There's one that you can't really say. There was a couple that I'd heard, but yeah, I always Stevenage fans took to me really early, which I was really pleased about. That I had an amazing time. But there's a song that seems to go around a lot of the clubs I do that probably isn't the best to share. But they Stevenage fans, they use my name at to maybe promote something that we shouldn't. But it's good.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly the song.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's very obviously it does. You could think that it was just a simple song, but probably shouldn't be used. But they seem to love it, and it stuck with me everywhere I've gone.
Just kind of embraced it, and there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what else we got on here? Yeah, see, yeah, we all know what you're on about.
Yeah.
Let's flip over to the next one. So yeah, what was it like playing against Watford? Obviously, you had the League Cup game against Watford, and obviously that was quite a local derby as well. That was in the what season was that? First season, second season?
Obviously, because I know we played them in the cup and we played them in a friendly in another
Yeah,
season.
the
We
cup
played
one.
really well against them both times, if I
The cup
remember
one. I
back.
know we only lost. Was it 1-0? So yeah,
1-0, yeah, and I think I hit the post early on.
yeah.
But yeah, we gave them really good because they did not take it easy as they put their full strength team out. They had some big players playing, and we had a couple of good ties. I think we got Stoke in the FA Cup as well, and they come and showed us respect by playing their full squad. Crouchy got hat trick, but
I remember
we
that
did
game
well.
very well.
We had a
Absolutely
really good
destroyed.
we had a good effort. Yeah, we had a good effort against Stoke and against Watford. I enjoyed both the games, and I think we come out of it. We should be proud of ourselves. Obviously, Stoke ended up 4-0, which wasn't great, but for 45, 50 minutes until I think Bardi scored an absolute scream that he probably
Yeah,
never scored
35,
again.
40 yards, whatever it was. Yeah.
We were very competitive against them.
And then, yeah, that was the Watford game was a big one as well, and the friendlies. And there was a few other sort of Premier League teams that would come down for friendlies. I think Spurs come down did it a couple of times as well and stuff. So
Yeah, the Tottenham game that was in the. Yeah, I probably did a tackle that I want. Probably a bit too strong for a pre-season game. I got in a bit of trouble for it, but lucky enough, the boy was all right.
it's all right then. That's good. So yeah, is there anything you miss about the club? Just at Stevenage.
Oh, well, yeah. As I've said plenty of times, I love my time there, and the training ground is quite amazing. Actually, it's one of the best I've played at, and just as I said, with the group of players I had during my time was amazing, and I really enjoyed being there day to day. It was really top facilities.
Yeah, no, that's really really interesting, and it's good to have that to kind of show off as well, and the new stand which is all there now, and it's kind of complete now.
Oh yeah, the new stand looks incredible. Yeah, it completely changes the stadium, and I think that was a really top thing that's happened to the club. And as I say, next season when they're trying to get players, it makes a lot of difference when you've got the stadium looks as good as it does now, and the training ground that just top level.
So this one here, what about Joby McAnuff? You played with Joby a couple of times. What was he like?
He's still to this day my hero. I learned more from him in the 3 years I played with him than I probably did any other person. And I was obviously late on in my career. I met him, and
Yeah,
he's still the best player at Leyton Orient now. And he probably wouldn't like me telling him how old he is, but he's pushing a big number, and he has had a season out of injury last year. And I think in the running, him and Matty Godden were unbelievable for us that season. And then went to Orient. He was the catalyst for our promotion, and the way he trains, the way he talks, the way he leads. Between him and Justin Edinburgh, it was the main reason we went up. And
yeah.
he will be a coach or a manager one day, with no doubt.
I'm sure he will. He's really highly established and rated in the game. And as you said there, you both went to Orient together from Stevenage as well. So it was kind of a nice little sort of settling in, for you both to have each other as well, I guess. So
Yeah, he's been top class, and I enjoy my time with him, and I wouldn't hesitate to ring him at any point if I needed advice. He's that sort of guy.
yeah, that's excellent. It's always good to have those kind of people to hand.
Yeah, definitely.
So so the next one, what we got on here? Yeah, so obviously, you've mentioned about Matt. What was it like playing alongside Chris and Ronnie and some of the actual proper club legends who Ronnie's an absolute icon.
Oh, he's a legend. He's incredible. He makes every day funny. He takes a lot of jibes off the boys, and he's easy to wind up. But he made my time brilliant, and I still speak to him. Did our coaching badges together, me, him, and Chris. So, but I miss Ronnie. I do. I miss messing his stuff up in the change room. He's got really
you
bad
weren't there
OCD.
for his testimonial. You did play in his testimonial, didn't you?
No, I was invited, but unfortunately,
you weren't able to.
I had a match. I think we had, for some reason, I was away, or I couldn't be there. I was gutted to miss out.
It was a cracking day. It was I
can imagine.
amazing.
I FaceTimed him during it, and he looked like he'd had a few beers when I spoke to him.
It was nice to see his young lad come on and score as well, and it was just a nice day. It was just a really special day.
Yeah, I can imagine he deserved it, and I'm ashamed I couldn't be there, but he is a club legend, and the fans love him, and they always will, rightly so.
It's not bad for someone that went to Luton and then come back, is it? So
no, it's incredible, actually, really, isn't it? And then not many players are liked by Stevenage and Luton fans.
No, very rare.
Must be some kind of special player.
Yeah. It's very rare to get both. So let's have a look on it. Yeah, so I've mentioned that one already. I don't know whether to ask that one. I asked you off stream about. Obviously, I'm going to ask it anyway. So obviously, you're not the tallest player, but you always seem to be the one to get your head to set pieces. So can you still rise like a salmon? Do you still, are you still first to the ball from set pieces?
Yeah, of course. If you're good at something, you just got to live on it, haven't you? So I'll make sure if there's any headers to go for, I'll make sure I'll put my ball dead right in the middle of it and try and get involved. And I love heading the ball. It's one of my favourite things. There's no better feeling than getting on the end of a header. So I'll run around until I can't jump no more and keep heading them balls back.
Why not? And then obviously, you're doing it at both ends. You're going up for the corners and then you're coming back and defending it as well. So
yeah, well, obviously, if you head it away, you ain't got to defend it as much.
True.
So I always thought it was quite necessary.
It's a fair point, mate. Fair point. Yeah, we're probably not far from the end of this now. In fact, actually. So what was your sort of go-to meal after a win, or any sort of victory, like routines or anything like that after you've won a game?
We had a spell at Stevenage where we was having Nando's after every game. So
yeah.
I think after a while we got sick of that a little bit. But that was interesting. That was probably different because most clubs I've ever been at is the typical get your pizzas down you straight away. So enjoyed having my Nando's order waiting for me. Always tasted a bit better when you'd had 3 points. But that's probably the most unique after meal I've ever had, having the Nando's delivered. The guy in the change room, while Graham West is going mental, the Nando's guy walking in to do the delivery. That happened a couple of times. That, as you can imagine, he shot straight out as quick as possible.
Absolutely, yeah. I remember that because, obviously you were with Graham and Dino, obviously as well, and a few others. So, yeah. He's asked that one. So he's answered that one already, Russ, about what football team he supports. So it was West Ham, but then he's played for Spurs, and obviously he played for Stevenage and Leyton Orient, so he follows them as well. That was basically what you said, wasn't it? So
yeah, I don't really fully support a team. I'm lucky. I'll visit a lot of the local teams as I'm older. I've got kids who support 2 different teams, so that's going to keep me busy.
So who was your sort of inspiration growing up through the game? Did you have sort of somebody you looked up to, like maybe, I don't know, a Zidane or a Roy Keane or a Vieira or anyone like that?
Let's get this one straight. The greatest player ever to play football ever is the real Ronaldo, R9.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I used to wait for Football Italia and watch him take the whole team on, turn back, take them all again, then score. So he's my hero. Watching him and Cantona just used to blow my mind what they used to do. So R9. I never really wanted to be like him because I knew I couldn't. So It was more maybe a Roy Keane or Paul Ince I'd like to, but didn't get anywhere near him really. But just maybe the odd tackle like him.
Did Teddy have any stories about? Obviously, he played alongside Roy Keane. Did he speak to you about Keano at all or not?
Yeah, he's incredible. We used to. He was a Teddy was amazing, and the things that the day to day, the way, because he trained a lot of the time, the way he did things, and you could just tell that it was someone that had been at the pinnacle of his sport. He's incredible in his stories. He was approachable. You could ask him anything.
How many times did he mention the Champions League final against Bayern Munich?
Not well. A lot of people mentioned it to him, and
yeah,
he was always up for talking about it, as I can imagine. I suppose if I scored the equaliser and won the Champions League in the last couple of minutes, I would probably talk about it a lot more than he does. So, but if you asked him anything, he would talk about it, and there was a lot of questions asked when he first signed. And to be fair, he answered the ball, and he's very likeable.
And obviously, you know, I'm sure he probably mentioned quite a bit about his England times as well, playing alongside Shearer and stuff, and, you know, Euro 96 and some of the big games he was at.
Yeah, obviously. Euro 96 is still the best and the worst few weeks of my life. I sat up with my family watching that, and that was as an 8-year-old, it was the best time to be. 8 or 9-year-old watching Gaza take everyone on. Just gutted they couldn't win it, but that was strong memories from that Euro 96.
Let's have a look at this one here. So, what do you do to relax or to chill out, like after a game, or, you know, in an evening or whatever, after you come back from wherever on a Saturday night?
Well, normally I have lots of different things, but this season's been very different because obviously after the game it's quite a journey back home, and then I spend the weekends is when I'm with my 2 sons and my wife. So a lot more. It's pretty set in, so I'm working or I'm with the family at the weekend. So not as much golf as I used to play, and hopefully I'll get some more golf in some days.
You don't get to follow the cricket as much as you want these days, no?
Oh, well, I'll still find time for cricket. I'm down in Somerset now, so there's plenty of cricket down here as well. So, not at the minute, but there will be.
Yeah. There you go. Out of the two, would you rather play with Messi or Ronaldo? That's a good question, actually, to be fair.
Look, I'm not saying one's better than the other, but I'm a Ronaldo fan. So he played in the Premier League. I've always watched the Premier League, and what he did in the Premier League when he was here was amazing. And I'd love to play with either of them, to be honest. I think I might let them down, to be honest. It might be embarrassing. I'm happy just watching them.
Somerset cricket class, there you go.
Yeah, he's class, yeah.
This was another one. What other hobbies? What's that? That should say, what other hobbies do you have or would you like to have? I think.
Yeah, well, at the minute, I'm trying to not think about hobbies too much because there's not as much time as normal. But yeah. I love sport. I spend a lot of my time doing sport, and the only other thing I do is my wife takes a mick out of me. I spend a lot of time doing Sudokus, and it's a bit of a talking point in my household at the minute.
Like my mum, to be fair, she's good into all of that. She loves her Sudokus and all that.
I've spent like £24 on 4 different Sudoku apps for my PC that I sit and do it in the Oval, and they always take the mick out of me, but I just love them, so I don't care.
There you go. This one's from Matt. Would you rather win the World Cup or the Champions League? I'm sure I'd probably win either, but yeah.
Yeah, either, to be honest. There is something about the World Cup. I suppose it's been such a long time, 66. We've had a lot of success with the Premier League teams, and I don't know this to say about the World Cup, but as I say, either would be fine.
Yeah, so let's see if we can get through the last couple of these now. There's only a couple. Yeah, so you basically mentioned this already about if you believe Stevenage can bounce back to the Football League. And yeah, you know, you've mentioned about you being in contact with a few other people from the club in your time there as well. So you kind of mentioned everything that I had covered, mate, to be honest. So yeah, I think we're good.
I enjoyed it.
It's good fun, mate. It's been 49, 50 minutes, so we've had
Yeah, it was nice to speak there.
Yeah, it's great chatting with you, Charlie. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So we'll end the stream there. So thanks for watching and supporting the stream, guys. And we've got another one coming up on Wednesday next as well with Neil Willman, and we've got one with Danny Carroll Friday, and I think we've got Josh Walker Thursday as well. So busy week, very busy week.
Oh, well, enjoy. I hope they're a lot more insightful than I was.
You were great, mate. Thanks for your time.
I enjoy it. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.